8:51 a.m., but I am up dark and early, as they say. Got a big dentist appointment this morning. I want to shout out the Phish gods. I got through the run, but something happened about 2 hours after the show Saturday night where I just started getting a little bit of a toothache, and it got worse and worse. And the whole side of my face was hurting by like 7 in the morning. And I got a dentist appointment coming up this morning. It's feeling not great, but better. Like, I'm not near tears at this point, at least. And I really do mean that. Like, if that would have hit me, say, Thursday or Friday night, I definitely would not have even, I just can't even focus on anything. You guys know what a toothache's like. We've all had a toothache. I'm sorry to complain. I feel like I'm always on here complaining or like asking you guys to wish me luck or something bad has happened. Look, sometimes I'm kind of playing it up a little bit, like, oh, I'm so bad at picks. And then other times it's like, oh my God, I got frozen pipes. I got a toothache. I don't know. Sorry, I apologize. Now we're a minute into this and I haven't said anything except complain about my tooth. So what were my favorite nights, in there? Hey, what's up, Dan Z? I'm okay, Dan Z. I'm okay. I hope you're doing well. I am, while they were happening, I thought I was pretty positive night two was my favorite. Thank you, thank you. I know, dental work sucks, right? At least you get some nitrous, maybe. Probably not, though. I thought night two was easily my favorite. But then after listening back, and it is hard to top night three. I think if I could take set one from night two and set two from night three, and then the encore from night one, that would be the perfect show. But I think I ultimately ended in this order: 3, 2, 4, 1. I also remember night one, like, I thought it was just okay show, but looking back at it and re-listening, shit, if I play it down, that gets me. It's around where I had those crowns like a year ago. I think I do have one final wisdom tooth that I never had removed and really never came in. They did tell me I probably should have that thing cut out about a year ago. Dude, I'm fine as long as I can't touch it. I can't eat or drink or brush. I can't bite down like I just did and like clash my teeth together. Shit. So when it turns out, sometimes maybe doing things the way that I do them there, just like live when the show ends, like hop on here. I know night two I really, really loved. And night three I loved. But I think I made the comment that night two I preferred more than three. But it's so tough though. Both 2 and 3 were awesome. And then when, like, I don't know why, I don't know what was going on night one, where I was just like, it was just kind of okay. And there's some great songs there. Rogue was killer. Boogie on Reggae Woman, Sand. I mean, I guess the moment dance back on the train. Yeah, night four was really good too. I don't know why. I don't think night four compared to 2 and 3, but I mean, I'm looking at night four. That could easily be my favorite night as well. Again, a pretty strong first set. Well, last half of the first set. I don't know, pretty good first sets. All right, so then maybe my favorite moment from the entire run, though, was just a matter of seconds in the Stash Jam when they returned to Stash. I just thought that was absolutely incredible. That's the kind of stuff that I'm like, oh yeah, that's what I love. Check this part out. And then the Water in the Sky was maybe the biggest surprise. If you'd have told me they were going to play an acoustic Water in the Sky, I would have said, I don't like that. I thought it was going to be not fun. And that turned out that was awesome. That was also that was really the biggest surprise, that I liked an acoustic Water in the Sky. Trey's band was doing some of that. No strings, obviously, with Phish, but Dog-Faced Boy in the encore is also another pleasant surprise. That was maybe out of the 3 like kind of low key moments: Water in the Sky, Dog-Faced Boy, and that just the fact that they played some debuts. Fling Your Head, maybe not my favorite Mike Gordon song, and Simeon, definitely not my favorite Trey song, but the fact that we got some debuts was cool. We even had a picker or two call that. I don't know if they were sound checking debuts. I don't know what these pickers knew, but then obviously the song I Heard the Ocean Sing. I mean, I think that was probably my favorite overall, number one. I re-listened to it, and as soon as we got to the moment where the part of the song where I was singing to Floppy, I immediately started getting that song in my head again. So A Song I Heard the Ocean Sing was clearly the number one runaway winner. And then everything else after that, maybe My Friend was second. Maybe Life Saving Gun was second. Maybe McGrupp was second. Ruby Waves. There were so many songs that were all just really good. Hood, Gin, yeah, the Carinian Light, Rogue, and Sand. So not everything had to be a big 20 plus minute jam. The Oblivion was really good. Again, Stash that I keep talking about. Yeah, and McGrupp. Oh, and What's Going Through Your Mind? I thought that was well, it certainly wasn't the longest one we had. That might have been the most rock and roll What's Going Through Your Mind we've had. That thing was just a blazer. And yeah, the Harry Hood was very nice. I don't know. So I mean, I guess that's kind of it, really. I know the run just happened. It was so short, but yet so good. But if I had to pin down a favorite show, I think I am now going with night 3. And if I could take a favorite set, it might have been set 1 from night 2. I mean, my God, the Caspin and Oblivion, if you're really into jamming, and then that Stash, McGrupp, and Yamar was pretty incredible. They'd had the Water in the Sky that night. And then the Frankie Says as your cool off moment in night 3 and set 2 was pretty incredible. A late set life saving gun. You know, other than night 1, they really went for it late in sets. That number line 0, you know, I can do without that. But the Golden Age and Slave, What's Going Through Your Mind? All right, let's get to some pickers. All right, so night 1, we'll just quickly transition to the picks, you know. Sorry if you're here and you've said hello or anything. Yeah, you're right. Good point, Moses. He wishes that the mics would have went into a second jam. I mean, everything else had a second jam. Most of the song I heard the ocean sing had a third jam. But you're right. The second jam is going to be pretty rare in mics, I guess, nowadays. Yeah, and you're right. It is. And it's never the same without the hydrogen, but all right. We got a Haley's Comet in there. In fact, that lifted one guy. The one guy that got 3 right, Pat Keegan, on night number 4. Everybody was picking some like Tweezer, Theme from the Bottom, Down with Disease. Like nobody did that good on night 4. And those were all the songs. I think it was Tweezer, Down with Disease, YEM, 46 Days, Theme from the Bottom. Like we all had the same kind of songs we definitely thought they were going to play. But Pat had a Haley's Comet in there, along with 2 of the other very popular ones that they did play. All right, let's go to night 1, though, with Seaman, Nico, and Spud on a relatively tough night, night 1. Seaman, Nico, and Spud managed to hit 3 out of 5, which was pretty impressive, really. Then Isle of Railroads and SC hit Waves, which I would consider Waves a bust out or a long shot, but maybe not so much in Mexico. I mean, they didn't play it last year, though, so there's no guarantee. I didn't have the courage to call Waves. So Isle of Railroads and SC, they hit the Waves. But more impressive was Pat, our guy Pat, who hit 3 out of 5 on night 4. He also hit the Boogie On night 1. Thought that was an impressive call. Maybe even more impressive, though, was Nikki saying Breath and Burning as his long shot. And then maybe even more impressive was Dickie. He called a new song, never before played, would be played. I don't know, he might have had some inside info. I don't know. I don't know what was going on with sound check or the day before. But Dickie called it. First guy to call it. Then the next night, I believe, that was later on. Somebody else did that. Fling your head. Okay, that was the debut, night 1. So, night 2, Danielle. She hit the NICU long shot. It was our only long shot of the night. Night 2 was, again, one of the nights that was a bloodbath. The band does this to us occasionally. 11K, Harpua, and Robert Geller, they had 2 right. And that was good. That won the night. So we had 1 long shot. We had 11, Harpua and Robert Geller go 2 for 5. So night 2, everybody sucked. Night 1 really wasn't that great. You had a couple of long shots in there, and then Spud, Nico, and Seaman. So all right, now let's go over to 3. Danielle again. She called a debut, I guess as her long shot. Maybe not even, though. I can't remember exactly. I just wrote down she called a debut and went 3 for 5. That might have been the strongest single night we had this whole run. 3 out of 5 and calling a long shot. John Miner also went 3 out of 5, as well as Dinner and a Film. Robert Geller coming through again, hitting the opener, Blaze On. Eric Alston hit 3 out of 5. Jeff hit 3 out of 5. Jeff B. Who's that? Jackie Bird, it looks like, hit 3 out of 5. Or maybe it's just Jack. Jake Williams, 3 out of 5. Leadhead, 3 out of 5. Robert Humphrey and Seaman again. So Seaman's had 2 3 for 5s. Danielle's had a good run. Seaman's had a good run. So let's go to night 4 now and try to decide this thing. Oh, I hit the Mike's opener. I was like, me? What about me? I hit the Mike's opener, Eric Alston and Danielle. So Danielle making a name for herself 3 out of the 4 nights. I'd say Danielle overall for 20. I know we're into 2026, but for the year, we'll consider this the end of the year. I think she was our overall champion. And then once again appearing 3 of the 4 nights here, scoring some points on a run that wasn't that easy. That was the nicest thing, that this wasn't everything I expected. I mean, we got a little bit of what I expected, but all right, let me finish this up real quick. Oh, Corn Dog called the meat stick, meat stick, meat stick. He guaranteed a meat stick. And then our boy Pat Keegan, who had another great run. He was 3 for 5. He was maybe one. Danielle and Pat were probably the two best, although Seaman was pretty good. Slaughterhouse, he called 2001. We didn't have to call a cover, but he was like, I'm calling a cover, 2001. All right, so that's it for the picks. I know that probably wasn't very organized, but if you're there and you had a good night and you heard your name, boom, 2 thumbs up. I think this pick things is about run its course. We get the idea. Most, Danielle seems to be the best. There's a few other people that are right there with her. I think maybe Jacqueline's pretty good. JP was pretty good. Harpua was pretty good. Seaman coming through. Seaman and Pat coming through here late in the year, though. Early in the year. I don't know what to call it. But it was particularly difficult. Again, just going through all the songs, just looking at the titles, trying to match it to the set list. That's just that kind of work ain't for me. I don't know what kind of work that is. But looking at set lists and looking at people's picks and not using like a computer program, just doing it manually. And then doing it manually with a toothache. Sorry, there I go again, complaining about my tooth. I was going to try not to do that this video. All right, guys. I think that's it. I'm talked out. That was it. That was my favorite stuff from Mexico. Pretty much. What was your guys' favorites? Let me let you guys talk a little bit. Hey, morning, Merch Mouse. Who's there? What was your guys' favorite song, show? Maybe an underrated moment. Like that return to Stash was maybe like my favorite moment. The acoustic Water in the Sky was incredible. What you guys got for me? You got anything I should check out? I like the Carinian Light. I think the night it was happening, I was like, I'm going to have to re-listen to those because I don't know if this was as amazing as the word on the street says it was. It was interesting. It's my two friends who I first started going to Phish shows with, like over 20 years ago, 25 plus years ago. They, neither one of them really listened to them anymore. They're not like haters or anything, but they just, I don't know. They're just not really big Phish fans anymore. But they both on separate nights were in their cars and extended driving and listening on Sirius XM. And the first one, the guy was like, did they just play like a fucking hour-long Carini or something? I don't know. He caught the Carinian Light and thought it was pretty awesome. And then the next night, what was the middle? I think it was the My Friend and Mole. Yeah, My Friend Mole. I don't know how long he lasted, but he sent me a text and was like, since when is My Friend and My Friend a jammer? I'm like, well, it's been a couple years now, actually. The Bathtub Gin, I don't know if I mentioned that. That was incredible. All right. So you guys don't want to tell me what your favorites were? Is anybody there? I mean, it is 5 a.m. I don't know. And like no Divided Sky, no Curtain Width, but we did finally get that Slave at the end. No Pebbles. Now, I don't know if this is a sign of these are what the set lists are going to look like in 2026, or if the fact that this was Mexico, they were like, look, let's not just play the same old show. Let's debut some songs, maybe some Hall of Fame songs that everybody's expecting us to play. Tweezer, Down with Disease. Like, you can go anywhere and hear Tweezer with Down with Disease, I guess. It is impressive that they can take some of their songs that are just like ringers. Now, I know not everybody, like, it's not like Tweezer, Down with Disease, and Theme from the Bottom. It's not like that's everybody's favorite songs, but whether if you like those songs or not, if you're there live and they play those songs, You Enjoy Myself, another one, they're good, So it's like they got these cheat cards. They're like, oh, so all we got to do is play this, this, and this, and we're having a good night. Well, they didn't even need any of that, really. I don't know, what was the one, No Piper? I don't know. The encore, the first night, the encore was incredible, but then last night, I don't know. They were hit and miss. Maybe one good song, one off song. Okay, this is about 15 minutes of rambling on. Guess you guys don't want to tell me what your favorites were. Maybe I think Clifford Ball is the only 2 jam mics I've heard live. Oh, really? Yeah. Um, yeah, that'd have been something else, huh? How good was the Clifford Ball? A little envious that you were there. I got it on DVD. All right, guys. All right, what do I got? About 3 more hours, and I will be at the dentist getting some answers. I'm afraid they're just going to tell me I got to get that other tooth removed. And it's like barely exposed. He was talking about sending me somewhere else to have it like surgically removed. That doesn't sound cool. Doesn't sound cheap. But at this point, I'll do about anything to get this uncomfortable feeling to go away. I'm not kidding you. Saturday night after the show, maybe an hour, hour and a half after the show, I tried to lay down. I was like, damn, my tooth's hurting. It went from my tooth is hurting till about 2 hours later, I was nearly in tears. And I was going to wake Mary up and be like, is there such thing as like a dental urgent care, man? I don't know what's going on. And I just been slamming. Nolan Ryan, you're the man. Been slamming Advil and Tylenol on an empty stomach. Even those pills on an empty stomach ain't good. All right, guys, that's enough about me and my problems. I know everybody's got their problems. I hope yours get better. And sorry for complaining so much lately. And I hope you enjoyed Phish Mexico, because I sure did. And once again, I don't know who controls all of this, but the fact that it waited until the run was over to attack me, I'm grateful for that. Boom. I love you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in throughout the run. A lot of people said a lot of nice things. Thanks to everybody that played along with the picks. Thank you that showed up this morning, probably taking a dookie, drinking you some coffee. Hopefully not at the same time, although some people do that. They make some coffee, they go take a dookie, and then they drink it on the pot. Pot on the pot. You ever take the whole pot with you? All right. Boom. We're out of here.